want to get away. And not to get away in the sense of I want to migrate away from this disastrous country and go back to the motherland, but I want to get away and go to a different dystopia. So we're hopping back in it. We're back on my bullshit. We are going back into the Hunger Games universe. Hey guys, it's Lauren here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm very freaking excited to read this book, and I've actually had it for about 2 weeks now, but I didn't pick it up because of everything that's been happening with George Floyd and, you know, calling for like police reform and everything like that. So I have not picked up anything, honestly, like any sort of media that was not related to that in 2 weeks. Which might not have been the best for my mental health, but it was necessary. This is honestly my first leap back into a world that isn't the one that we're currently living in. Am I excited to read this? Yes, but I'm also really excited to read this because this is part of the Hunger Games series. If you haven't watched my previous video, which I did about reading the entire Hunger Games trilogy, I love it just as much now as I did back then, and honestly, I'm not complaining about there being more of it. Am I disappointed that this isn't about Haymitch's Hunger Games? Yes. But am I still willing to read it? Yes, because this is about a tyrannical leader, and I'd like to see the parallels between this one and the one that shall not be named. So hopefully it will not let me down. I'm also really excited because it's this thick. It's a thick bitch, and that means that it will take me like probably, hopefully longer than a day to read this book. So I'm very, very excited. I haven't been excited to read a book or like been excited for really anything in a hot minute, so this intro is not supposed to be this depressing. Okay, no, let's just get right into the book. Hey, so haven't even reached like the first page of the book and it's already spicy. I knew this book was about President Snow, but I didn't realize that this was also not about like the making of the Hunger Games. Clearly like President Snow just like continues it throughout the rest of his life, but I didn't realize that it was already in place before he was in power. So yeah, that was unexpected. And he is a mentor for someone from Tribute 12. The irony. I know that was on purpose, but like, you know, that's spicy. This is a spicier storyline than I remember. And also, we're going back to quotes that books usually start with. And in this book, the quotes that relate to the book are all from past philosophers, whatever the fuck their names are. There's some Hobbes in here, some Rousseau. She really just like did that. So there are 4 quotes from all these like philosophers and great thinkers of the past. The one that really caught my eye though, obviously, is Rousseau from The Social Contract of 1762. And it says that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. Yeah, obviously that relates to times. All these quotes have to do with kind of like what's like man's natural state, how does like man like kind of like act against nature and so. And I'm guessing like the whole theme of this book is like what is right and what is wrong. I wasn't expecting that. I looked at it at first and I thought that the quotes were reviews, but they were actually, you know, quotes. And it was cool. I fuck with that. I'll talk to you guys the next time I feel the need to talk to you. Let me just like jump right into this. Hey guys, it is the next day. I didn't read any of the book like past the first page last night, but I read up to chapter 1 now. Like I read all of chapter 1 now. And let me just say, thank God that Susan Collins did not try to make his character appealing, because that would not have worked for most of us. It's very apparent that like President Snow, what's his name? Coriolanus? Yeah, Coriolanus, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's very apparent that Coriolanus Snow has always been a little shit. Even when he was poor, and I am like laughing at the irony that this man was poor and somehow he still like rose to power and decided to put down the lower class. And the reason I feel like he's so entitled in the way that he developed as a character is because of his privilege, the sense of entitlement that he has just being a capital citizen. I have to laugh. It's like he's still like poor, but somehow he still feels like he deserves this rank with all of the elitists, and he cares heavily about his appearance, which honestly is giving me a headache because I keep on having to read and be like, the fuck? Like, what does this material mean? Who cares about? It's a lot. The whole fashion thing is a lot, but it really is fitting for his character and like the fact that he's like this person from the capital, because we already saw from the series that the capital people are vain as fuck, and I guess that was even prevalent, what, like 70 years ago? I don't even remember how old President Snow was in the series, but you know, it's not a surprise, but like just seeing him be so pressed about his appearance And like there's being like wanting to appear good and then just wanting to appear like immaculate or some shit, because that's basically what his whole family is concerned about. It makes me laugh, but I'm also like, that's very on theme for this man's character. So I'm really happy because I don't like his character because he seems vain and obnoxious and entitled. And yeah, you know, it's not gonna be hard to see how he went from this to President Snow. Like there's this other like character that I find really interesting, which is Sejanus, I believe, and he's like the first district kid that was allowed to go to this capital school. Already, we're not even that far in the book, but already we're seeing this comparison between Sejanus and Coriolanus, and the fact that they're kind of in the same boat, but in a way like Sejanus is in a better place in that boat because his dad did something for the war effort. Because of that, his family got rich as fuck. And then Snow is like, his family used to be rich as fuck, but because of the war, like, he's poor. So just seeing that dynamic is interesting, especially since Coriolanus clearly is not a friend of Sejanus. Like, he does not like him at all. He feels like he's entitled to all the things that Sejanus has newly acquired. So I know District 1, District 2, like they're still full of like kind of assholes, but they were treated worse. And seeing honestly how bad like the capital conditions were back then, this is like 10 years after the war of God knows what, that probably put in place the Hunger Games. It's interesting seeing how the capital was like poor and struggling, because I feel like we don't get that as much. But even then, like, I can't help but thinking about how like the other districts are probably even worse than President Snow's position, because obviously if capital citizens are suffering, like imagine like how 12 is suffering. And Katniss's situation was bad, so this had to be like really, really bad. That is very interesting to me. It's also interesting to me how 12 was like been bad like since the very beginning. Usually it's hard for me to get into a book where I dislike the protagonist, but since I already knew what I was getting into, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see if at any point in the book I actually like this man, because so far I don't. He's a little shit. I'll update you guys next time something exciting happens. Okay, I've reached chapter 5, and honestly not that much has happened yet, but I need to do this. Let's talk about Lucy Gray. I'm already fucking in love with her character, bro. There's something about a woman that I know can stomp on you, and that can stomp on men, that is literally... Like, I've always loved seeing a woman portrayed as someone that can definitely, like, fucking, like, stomp on you and destroy you and your spirit. And that is what Lucy Gray comes off as to me, and I fucking love it. And I don't really know what that says about me, but... you know what? I am not ashamed. So, we just got introduced to Lucy Gray's character. I mean, honestly, we're introduced to her before when they're selecting, like, tributes to give to, like, the first mentor's effort, which is honestly the most mind-boggling thing. They went 10 years without giving children mentors. That's sick. That's so sick. You know what? We're getting off track, though. So, yeah, she was finally introduced to us, like, face to face with her interacting with Snow. And I love when characters that we see introduced like separately in a sort of way come together, because it's literally the most epic fucking thing possible. So Snow meets her, and she constantly already is challenging him to do more, to step up, to be more than some like measly little like rat, like privileged boy, like do something. Snow was already starting to change and evolve from what he was. He's still a little privileged brat, but yeah, the fact that she's already challenging him to do more is amazing. And I love their interactions, because Lucy Gray like already seems to be enthralling him, and I like to see Snow basically be like spiritually stomped on. Like she's acting like a friend. But I feel like with Lucy Gray, she knows that Snow ain't her friend. You know, I like to see that character interaction. Already she's influencing his actions, like the way she said to own it and the way it's already repeating in Snow's mind before we're even like halfway through the book is amazing. Like, I love that. Don't know exactly how she's gonna end up in the story, but she definitely influenced the way that Snow acts in the future. And I'm not complaining, no. She's an interesting character. Susan Collins is a genius in this fact. Like, she brought this character from 12, this district that we already love because of Katniss Everdeen, another kind of spontaneous and out there. She is definitely something different. So am I happy about this? Fuck yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm excited to see Lucy Gray and Coriolanus's interactions. I'm excited to see it. In case it wasn't obvious, I'm loving Lucy Gray, and I'm here for this story because of Lucy Gray. Cornelia Snow was like, but Lucy Gray? Yes, give me more. Give me more. I'm even more excited to read the story than I was before, and yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy. Weird side note. I have a strange feeling that Snow is gonna end up killing his grandmother. And I hate that, but I have a feeling, based off like the tone of this, that he's gonna kill his grandmother, and it seems on character. This is so sad, but yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Anyway, back to the book. So, we finished part 1 of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and they have completely enthralled me. Susan Collins is like one author I'd be like, her writing comes off the exact same as it did to me when I was a kid. It's fucking amazing. Like, I love this. Coriolanus. It's so hard to remember his name. Like, you read it, but it's like you're not actually comprehending what it says. I think one line that really like comprehends what Coriolanus was feeling towards like district people and capital people was the line where one of the capital people, one of the new first capital mentors, Arachne, she ended up being killed by her own tribute because obviously Arachne was acting like a little bitch and like not allowing her to have food. And at school the next day they had to like cross off like the names of Arachne's name and the name of the tribute because like obviously they weren't competing in the games anymore because they were dead. Snow said like in that line, he said that like it was hard to cross off the name of someone that you knew. And the fact is that like these people just like dehumanize the people from the districts, all right? Like they literally use district in order to like talk about these people, and literally can tell that district is basically the N-word in the Hunger Games universe. So, but anyway, they dehumanize them a lot, and Lucy Gray is kind of like making them look human, but still she doesn't really identify herself with District 12. So I guess that helps in making her look more human, I guess, to Corio. I'm just gonna call him Corio. His friends call him Corio, right? That's way easier than saying Coriolanus. She basically uses that as a way to appeal to the people of the capital and to appeal to Snow. That's what she does, but it's just funny seeing Corio just be so... He's clearly not like shit. Like, according to like the capital or whatever, he's clearly just like, he ain't shit, clearly, because he's poor and he doesn't have the status they used to as a Snow, and he feels entitled to this status, so he still acts like he has it even though he doesn't. But he still views like the district people, and people are almost like experiencing the same struggle that he has, less than them. Like literally there was a scene when they were in, first of all, they were brought into the capital on like literally like a hoarding thing where they usually bring animals into the capital, and I was like, okay. And then they literally, instead of holding them in like places where they can like be fed, sleep well, etc., they're sleeping in a fucking zoo. In a zoo, people. Like, it's like Snow, he sees Lucy Gray as a human being, but he doesn't see like the rest of the tributes as human beings, because I don't know, Lucy Gray seems like she has like a grace to her or some shit, like she's different than the rest of them. And it's like, okay, yeah, Lucy Gray is obviously badass, but they are people too. It's like Snow is blocking out the aspect of their lives that's just like, oh yeah, there's a reason they're like this, you know, like my people did that to them. That's why I fuck with Sejanus, bro. Sejanus is the main man. He's always telling them how it is, and he's still standing by his beliefs. Obviously he's kind of stupid about it, because like clearly the capital is gonna get him saying his beliefs like that. Like the capital is ruthless, but you know, my kudos to Sejanus. He deserves all the love. I have no foresight in how this book is going to end, but I am enthralled, people. I am enthralled. The conflict is escalated because of that doctor. I forgot like name. I'm just going to call him Dr. G because I'm pretty sure the last name starts with G. Like Dr. G is a sicko, and she's like the head game maker or some shit. Snow is seeing how she's being a little bit vindictive and shit, and he's seeing how basically his own people can act inhumane to people like him. And it's making him question his place and like basically the validity of, you know, the capital, which I'm liking. But then knowing like he still doesn't view the district people as people, which is like, okay. Okay, you fucking like entitled piece of shit. You know, it's interesting to see, especially his dynamic with Lucy Gray. Ugh, I could read about those two interacting for hours, but like Lucy Gray went straight for the throat at the end of part 1, and she said, yo, like, you want to pay me back for saving your life? Because she saved his life from a bombing instead of like running away. And she was like, you owe me, you're gonna help me win. And Stone was like, yeah bitch, I am gonna help you win. And that's what I like to see. I hope the ending is good, because you know how a book always seems good and then the ending is trash? I really hope this isn't one of those books, but we will see. We will see exactly how much trauma she's gonna put these characters through. I can already see this being at least 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads for me. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. I'll let you know when I have something else to say. Hi, I'm back. Nothing has made Snow more apparently a coward to me than his freaking interactions with people when the Hunger Games started. Like literally, as soon as he figures that someone, I don't know, like a bad attachment to have, he's just like tries to distance himself from them as much as possible. Like Sejanus, bruh. After what happened to Marcus, literally they like freaking hung him in hackles, by the way, in a pole in the center of the games. And everyone was just like, oh my god, how could he do that? And Snow was just like, Snow literally has no reaction. He has no empathy. Like, he doesn't fucking care because he thinks the district people are less than human. And I don't know if it's because of the times that are triggering me more, but it's just, There's this one line where he's talking to Sejanus's mother because like she was wondering where he was. She was talking about the tradition that the people from their district had, like District 2, where they put like breadcrumbs over the corpse in order to make them have food on their passage, you know, in order to go to the afterlife. And she was like, if there's any proof that the district's more backwards, it's this. How could they do that? It's so primitive. I'm like, can you shut the fuck up? Shut the fuck up. Respect other people's customs and their traditions and everything like that. Like, the fuck? You don't think it's backwards that you care more about the way that you look than you care about forming attachments? Let me not be mad, bro. Oh, I'm mad. And the fact that, like, he claims to care about Lucy, but the fact that he didn't even, like, care about her or give a shit about her until she had, like, some sort of value to him or some shit. I thought it was cute when they kissed each other and everything. And I stand a good romance, alright? And I love all of their moments. I feel like it's actually, like, real. But I don't think he still, like, views her as a human, or at least he does, because he tries to make her seem as more capital to the people or to get, like, you know, more donations. But it's disgusting. His behavior is disgusting. His thoughts disgust me. The fact that Snow, like, is trying to go on to Janice for having no friends, but he himself has no friends. He's, like, poor and he's ashamed of it or some shit. Like, bro, own that shit. Like, own it. The fuck? You do not get to think that you're better than someone else when you're literally ashamed of who you are. You don't. Me out here preaching literally. Yeah, I had to do that because that one line where he's literally called Ma primitive, that got to me. Anyway, though, at least we know that he was killed in the future, 60 years in the future, admittedly, and he does bring a lot, like thousands, if not millions of people down with him in Panem. But I'm still happy he died the way he did. Now that I'm done being petty, I'm gonna get back to the book. Hi, I have to laugh at something. Literally, this scene is like after Jessup has died, and I don't even know, he goes to like Dr. G, which is Dr. Gall, which is like, okay, that's a weird fucking name. Also, one of the characters' name is Hilarious. Okay, yeah, moving on. So, Cornelius, what's his name? Coriolanus, right. This motherfucker said after dropping the handkerchief into a tank of snakes that might go into the games so that way Lucy Gray won't be attacked by the snakes, he was like, oh, there's no honor in that. What am I without my honor? Sir, you are not honorable. Period. I mean, like, you don't give a fuck about your friend. You don't. You literally... Is this shit focused? Like, as soon as Jessup died, which is actually like a tribute who was about to help his own tribute, he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. After the scene where he goes into the tributes and he sees whether they want to kill him, which is honestly valid because they're his whole people, they're thriving off their oppression. So why wouldn't you expect them to be fucking mad? They're really put in a pit to kill each other. And then you pop up. Obviously, they're gonna want to kill your dumbass. You are part of the reason they're all gonna die in that arena. And he was like, they're all animals. I'm gonna kill every single one of them. Bitch. Have you not realized that the Capitol is not honorable? They don't give a fuck about you. He's a dumbass. That's all I have to say. He's a dumbass. Every single person, other than my good man Sejanus and of Jessup, they're alright. They're alright. Tigress is alright. But y'all, this man Snow, he is the most oblivious person that I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Not even oblivious. He's deluded. And I think because Lucy Gray is gone, I'm even more pissed off. Because at least with Lucy Gray, he seems like kind of sweet, at least around her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep on reading it though to see how much more like stupid he can be. Ooh, I wish he died early, but he dies like 60 years later. But I just want y'all to know, I hate this man. Hey, so we finished part 2 of the book, which was called The Prize, and Lucy Gray won. I'm not really surprised. The games were kind of anticlimactic, but obviously they're not the center of the story, so I'm okay with that. But it was kind of interesting the way Reaper kind of just like arranged the bodies. Like, I felt like he was doing something similar to what Katniss did, and even though he seemed kind of ruthless in the beginning, wanting to be eager for a fight, he still did want to respect the dead. And, you know, I think that was kind of his purpose. And the fact that he was Reaper and he was the guy that was kind of arranging the bodies and covering them over with the flag, I thought that was really fitting. And I liked it. I don't know. I don't entirely understand my feelings about that character, but I did feel like he was trying to respect the dead. And because of that, I did like him, despite the fact that he had to, you know, die. Moving on from that, Lucy Gray won the Hunger Games. And Snow was imagining this kind of, I don't even know, like this hazy, dreamlike setting where he somehow gets everything that he wants. Very last page of that section of the book shows him being caught cheating in the games in order to get Lucy Gray to win. So we know things aren't gonna end well for this man, obviously. It's gonna be very difficult for him for at least like a period of this book before he, I guess, wins the game of life temporarily, before they whoop his ass in 60 years or so. Surinapis, wherever the fuck, you know, the really honorable guy. I want to see more of him. You know, where the fuck is he? He's gone. He's depressed because his friend Marcus was done dirty, like done the most dirty out of all of them. It still surprises me how a nation could do something so brutal to people, America, and still think somehow they have the moral high ground. Like, there was this scene where Choreo Snow was trying to give this speech to the Capitol to get more donations for Lucy Gray, and he was like, you know, she just really embodies all of these principles that the Capitol holds, you know, like such like honor, such care and kindness. I was like, are you dumb? People at the Capitol are deluded. That's not really news, but I am excited to see what happens in this next part of the book, because this is Lucy Gray after the games. You know, we don't really know what changed with her. Even though like we saw glimpses of her throughout the game, she barely pulled up outside, so we don't really know what she felt necessarily, if she still is gonna hold up this, honestly, what I think is a bit of a facade for Coriolanus. I swear, I keep on wanting to call him Cornelius, but it's really Coriolanus. If she still has good feelings for him, if she's gonna just like throw back the facade and be like, bitch, no. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens in this third part of the book. I honestly think it's gonna test Snow the most out of the entire book, obviously because we're leading towards the climax, I guess you would say, of the book, the peak of the mountain before everything goes down. I might be a little emotionally fucked up afterwards, but I'm excited. So yeah, caught you guys up. We are excited to see what happens. Hey guys, it's the next day. I actually finished the book last night, but by the time I finished it, it was like past 12 and I was exhausted. But I'm ready to talk about it now. How do I say this? I wish the last third of the book just didn't exist. Like, I really wish it didn't. Because I like the first, like, 2/3. I like part 1 and part 2, but part 3 just... You lost me, Collins. You lost me. First of all, the very ending, it doesn't seem like that would be enough to make Snow, like, president. Because as far as I can see throughout the entirety of the book, he didn't evolve to become this really powerful, like, being, you know? He kind of just seemed like this rat that was trying to, like, slowly get away with things. He didn't seem like a tyrant, you know? He didn't come off as that. But I just don't see how his, like, from here he becomes the president of the nation. Maybe it's because of the resources he has. Maybe that's enough, because the people at the Capitol we've seen, they're not exactly the most cunning individuals, not exactly the most impressive individuals. I don't know, I just, like, the very ending seems very unsatisfying, because for one, we don't know what happened to Lucy Gray, and I feel like in the third of the book, that was, like, the weakest her character has ever, like, seemed to me, because I kind of liked how fierce she was in the Capitol. I liked how, I guess, like, undercurrently antagonistic she was, like, how she always seemed like the smartest person in the room. But in the last third of the book, we don't get to see her as much, or as often, and she kind of just ended up being this sort of like love interest for Snow, and I was like, okay girl, you was really about Snow like that. But then obviously she came to her senses, because she got this man like bitten by a snake and then she ran off with the Mockingjays. It was literally the most epic breakup scene I've ever seen. Like, wow, can we talk about that? Like, the fact that she used the Mockingjays to sing the Hanging Tree song that Katniss sings later, and also like the dub to like the Katniss plant in this book. Like, obviously that was just, you know, a nod to the readers, but I still appreciated it. Yeah, I didn't like Lucy Gray's character as much in the last third of the book, mainly because she did seem like she was like in love with Snow. It was basically just like her and this kind of family drama that ended up not mattering. Yeah, I don't know. She just didn't come off as strong as she did in the first 2 parts, and obviously she was changed by the games, but somehow like I expected her not to like be so ready to fall in love with Snow again. But again, like, Snow is a master of manipulation. I guess like in her eyes, you really did seem like, you know, the kind of person that wasn't, you know, capital. Yeah, I'm glad she ran away though. I just didn't like, I wasn't so in for her being like this wholesome person. I wanted to know like what she didn't want to survive in 12, because I had a feeling that she was a prostitute, and I wanted to learn more about that. I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see like kind of Snow trying to come to grips with that. But it was kind of just her singing songs with the Covey and, you know, doing wholesome shit, and I was like, okay. I don't know, I was bored with her character in the last third of it, but I still find her awesome. She was the most interesting part of the book in my opinion. So Janice, I didn't get the point of his character being there for this last third of the book, other than like giving Snow an opportunity to kill him. But in my opinion, I was like, okay, so this man leaves the capital to work in the districts. And I guess that does make sense for his character because he does hate the capital, but I was like really a peacekeeper? It just seemed a little bit too happenstance. They just so happen to put those two in like the same fucking like district. From my opinion, I wouldn't think that they want Snow to be in the same company as the Janice, because obviously that might give rise to a mini rebellion or some shit, because at this point they sort of suspected Snow of being anti-capital. But I don't know, it just seemed a little bit too coincidental to end up together. It was dull, that's all I gotta say. I wanted more, I wanted certainty. I wanted to be like, oh, so this is the sick son of a bitch that did that, because as far as I know, Snow just killed like 3 people, including like his supposed best friend that wasn't really his best friend in the first place, and that's what made him become a villain. They wanted to see him do something truly like vile, you know, like kill his grandmother. I thought he was gonna kill his grandmother. He didn't, and that disappointed me. So yeah, I don't know. The third half of the book was very uninteresting. I was disappointed. Y'all could have done better. But overall, I did enjoy the book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads because, again, like the first and second half of the book were really, really captivating. I think Snow's character was well like written because you obviously understand his motivations for everything that he was doing. Like the author made sure to write it like clear cut, the same way she wrote like Katniss's thoughts and everything clear cut. Suzanne Collins, like she understands the Pickett's mind. The world building in this is impeccable as always. Like everything completely made sense to me, like the academy and kind of like coming to grips after a war, you know, how that affected the students. Anyway, yeah, the ending was a little disappointing, but the rest of the book, the 2/3 of the book were amazing. I really did like them. So 4 out of 5 stars for me. That is this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, you should like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. They're both linked down below. And I will see you guys in the next one.